Hey, ladies and gents, it's Zem, and we are doing the Hurricane 2D. This has been out. I mean, this was before 2.0. Obviously, this plane has been around for a while. It is in the premium shop. So, what is it? Well, in 1941, they decided they needed a ground attack plane for essentially North Africa. They found that the Hurricane's 20 millimeters were pretty much worthless against armored vehicles. So they decided to take a Hawker Hurricane 2B and change it, modify it, by mounting two massive 40 millimeter guns in gun pods. Once done, the experiment turned out to be not too bad, and they decided to build these aircraft. This was, of course, just a variant of a regular Hawker Hurricane, but this became known as the 2D. So, 1941, they modified a 2B, and in 1942, they began the production of the Hawker Hurricane 2D. With the 240s, they had to strip most of the armament off the aircraft. They also added armor to the cockpit, to the radiator, and a fair amount of weight was added to it just in armor. But by stripping out the rest of the armament, except for two machine guns that were used essentially as kind of as an aiming guide, mounted with tracers, they could see the machine gun shells where they landed. Of course, would help them fire with the 240 millimeters. It was used kind of successfully in North Africa. They, as long as there was no AA and there was no enemy fighters around, they found that these planes worked quite well. Had no problem penning most armored vehicles they ran into and whatnot. Each gun carried 15 rounds apiece. So 30 rounds is all they could really carry on these two big, massive 40 millimeter guns. They were affectionately known as the flying can openers. However, like I said, kind of, one of those deals where once again, there was not they had to make sure there was no flak and there was no enemy fighters, so they had to be escorted everywhere they went and whatnot. So they did. I mean, they were somewhat successful in that aspect. But obviously, as the war progressed, better designs came out, and these were kind of off to the side. I never did really find a production number of how many actual 2Ds were built. But yeah, they served their purpose, at least in North Africa. However, that's as far as they went until the next redesign of the Hawker Hurricane Mark IV, which was used in the ground attack role in on the Eastern Front. I'm sorry, not the Eastern Front, on the Western Front in France. Similar concept, used 240 millimeters, but was also able to carry two bombs or strip off the 40 millimeters, and it was able to carry 8 rockets. So yeah, that's the history of this variant of the Hurricane. I'm going to be doing an iconic plane of this, or iconic plane video on the Hawker Hurricane. So I'm not going to go delve into the deep history of this. So what do we get in game? Well, we get, of course, these two massive 40 millimeter Vickers S cannons, and then gets also two 303s. Remember, historically, these were just simply used as a shooting aid, essentially. They had tracers on them, and they were able to, follow the tracer, and it was a little easier to, hit the target. How does it compare, really, essentially, to the Hurricane 2? Well, they're not really that far off on each other. Being that, the survivability of the Hurricane 2D was a little bit better. Airspeed was just a slightly better, same with maneuverability, but less altitude performance. With the massive gun armament was, of course, better than the Hurricane 2. And, of course, which I don't get because this being a multi-role fighter, it doesn't get any sort of ordnance other than the 240s. So it kind of makes you feel a little bit like a Stuka. So, this gives you at least like somewhat of a comparison between the two of them. Makes pretty decent money. We had a couple good games tonight. 141,000 with the Raptor Duo, and let's see, what was that one was 196,000. So yeah, anywhere from 100 to 200,000 pretty easily with this. You hit the 10,000 combat points, you're looking at 185 plus usually in this aircraft. So makes pretty decent money at tier 5. I'm not gonna lie, you really have to work with this set of guns on here. When they do hit, they just fucking wreck. But the problem is they don't always hit. That could be just a matter of, I only have one pilot skill on here. I just trained up a pilot in this aircraft, so I'm only running with the first set of Marksman 1, and I used improved reflector sight. Helps a little bit bringing those shells in, but they fire slowly, and yeah, if you're used to that kind of stuff with this aircraft, you'll be fine. If you're not used to that, firing these big caliber cannons, you're not going to like this plane because they shoot slow, and you have to really lead with them. So yeah, it's kind of one of those kind of planes. If you're familiar with the big caliber, you'll be fine. If you're not, you're not going to enjoy this plane unless, of course, you want to spend the time and effort to learn how to play it, or I shouldn't say play it. Shoot with it. I usually run engine tuning 2 and concealing livery 2. I tend to play this, GA Hunter, and whatnot like that. I tend to be down a little bit lower. I don't do a whole lot of ground targets with it. Yeah, they are 40 millimeters, but we're talking, you want to be shooting at, say, tents, lightly armored targets, that kind of stuff. AA mounts, stuff like that. Not really with the 40 millimeters really that great for taking out buildings or armored targets. So you have kind of a small selection of ground targets that this thing is really somewhat effective against. Everything else, without any ordnance it's carrying, it makes it a little bit harder. So you see me mostly play this thing as a fighter, with some massive boomsticks. When the Death Star hits, it hits. It's a meh plane. I'm not going to give you 2 thumbs up or 2 thumbs down. It's just one of those kind of a niche aircraft. If you like the big boomsticks, they're not as accurate as, say, the A6 M3's 30s at this tier, or even the Lags 40. What is the Lags got on? I think that's a 40 millimeter too. The Lag. I should have all this prepared. I'm so unprepared as usual. The Lag 3-4, which I think has 12, but it's got the big, I believe. Yeah, it's got the big boomstick 2 on it. I should know this off the top of my head what it's got on it. What does it carry? This is the 20 millimeter. I'm looking at the right run. Yeah, no, Lag 334. I'm sorry. That's got the 37 millimeter on it. So if you're comfortable with these big cannons, hub mounted or whatever, you'll be fine. The Hurricanes is a little bit different because it's not hub mounted; they're on the wings, so the shells are a little bit off. So you have to get used to that. So yeah, like I said, if you like those kind of planes with the big booms, you're going to enjoy this. If not, probably try something else. So once again, kind of a meh plane, niche. See what you think of it. So I'm going to bring up I was going to look at I do believe there's 2 sets of, there are actually 3. You get the extended bundle, just the plain Hurricane with 100% crew, or you can get the Hurricane 2D with the Supermarine 224, plus 2,500 gold, I believe. Yep, 2,500 golds, and a few bonuses and that kind of stuff, which this is not really actually a bad deal because the Supermarine 224 is a lot of fun. So yeah, check it out. I'm going to bring up the gameplay for you guys, and you guys can get a kind of a feel for this slow plane. Hawker Hurricane 2D. And I'm actually flighted up with CAD in his... What the fuck does he flying? I'm sure it's a BF-109 of some sort. No, I don't think. I don't remember what exactly it was. So we're going to split here. I'm going to take the airfield. He's going to head north to the garrison. Now, it doesn't, it's not the best boost, not the best altitude, not the best speed, but that's not the reason why you're flying it. You're flying this for the fucking giggles when the 40 millimeters hit. That's what you're doing. I mean, there's planes at Tier 5 that does everything that this thing does better, but this is like playing the Death Star in World of Tanks, right? Yeah, you just wait for something to get hit. And then you go ooh hoo hoo hoo, and you giggle and make comments and whatever. But yeah, that's kind of, like I said, it's kind of a niche plane. With these 240s, they're kind of all over the place. You'll notice when I'm firing at them, they kind of go here, there, wherever they want to go. But they do damn nice job against big health targets, slow targets, like this Beaufighter or GAs here. And you'll see, like I said, when they do hit, they hit. And they hit really, really hard. So pull back down here. We got the boomerang coming up here. Let's see. Oh, there we go. Get one hit and finish him off. Back around. Got one more boomerang to go. We almost got this airfield. CAD's got the north one. So now I'm just going to try to finish off as many of these planes as I can before they get away. Finish off that, pick up the airfield, and now I got a bunch of incoming planes. BF-109E, and of course a MiG. This is not a plane that you really want to go head-to-head. However, it's not the best thing at shooting wildly gyrating planes. You want to be behind shit or catching them going kind of to parallel to where you're flying, or like I said, GAs and heavy fighters. Something that's got a fair amount of wing area to shoot at, large targets, that kind of stuff. Like I said, obviously when you do hit, you just wreck, right? I mean, I've one-shot some aircraft when both shells hit. It's just, yeah, it's instant death. Pull down here on the MiG-3. Almost got him. There we go. Like I said, not a great turn and burner either. This thing, obviously in the garage is showing you, this doesn't turn with this shit. But however, with the mini planes I had around me, I don't feel bad about getting into somewhat of a turn fight there and knocking out that plane. So moving on, once again, speed-wise, it's just not very quick. Obviously, here I'm over 500 kilometers, or hitting 500 kilometers an hour. But yeah, I'm boosted quite a ways. So pull around, pick up the Lag 3 coming through here. I also see a couple GAs, and that's what I really like to pick on with this thing. It does such a nice job when it's you get in behind a nice slow GA, or and it does have the altitude. Some of the videos here, I don't know if I'm going to show it or not. It does well against bomber formations. It just fucking wrecks bombers. But that it's a GA, and I don't really use it so much as not as a GA. I shouldn't say GA. As a multi-role, I don't really use it much as a multi-role. I mean, obviously you can with 240s, but it just seems a little bit weak in that respect. So back around we go. Got the IL-2. See if we can finish him off here quick. He's got 243 hit points, and boom. Yeah, that was... And then I can finish him off with my two little piddly machine guns. It was one of those nights, right? Over and over again. Back around we come. They finish off the... Oh, I thought they had him, but they didn't. Finish him off. We're already up to a Raptor duo in just a few minutes here. So yeah, we're flipping caps pretty quick here in this game. So I didn't think we were going to get a whole lot for combat score, as fast as the game was turning. However, they did pick this one up here in the middle. Pull in on the MiG-3, and this is kind of where this thing really becomes effective. If you can get on a tail of something, yeah, those big 40 millimeters will absolutely wreck. And Of course, of anything that gives you, its wings as it turns, running parallel to you, not parallel to you, in front of you, you can do a lot of damage. Round we come. Looking. Where are you at, buddy? Oh, pick up the Bowfighters. Altitude performance, once again, not the best. Pick up the Bowfighter. Flip over. Looking. Yeah, there you are. Onto him. And not quite getting the 40s. There we go. Oh, love it when they hit. However, I'm on fire. Make sure you carry a fire extinguisher with this thing. If not a fire extinguisher, something to put out fires, because it does get set on fire a fair amount. So we're up 4 objectives to 1, and it's not looking too shabby for the home team. So pick the Northern Swan. Got 2 GAs here. I love the GAs. Pick up the F4F. Oh, 1 hit. Boom. He's done. Back around. 2 GAs down low. I'm going to drop in on these guys. Actually, no, there are 2 GAs in the Hurricane too. He, however, seems to be playing a little bit more. Why do you keep saying GAs? Multi-rolls. God damn it. Multi-rolls. More of a multi-roll mission there. So pick up the IL-2, back around, see if we finish him off, knock him out. And what are we looking for here? Pick up the other IL-2 coming in here, Roman. Oh, there we go, buddy. And I thought with the 40 millimeters it would have a little bit better range, but they don't. You're still only looking at about 600 meters maybe before they become somewhat effective. Round we go. Killed this bunch. We've been up 4-1 pretty much the whole game. So yeah, it was kind of a rout. We got kind of looking around. Some incoming planes coming toward us here, so it won't be too shabby. Pick up the Lag 3. I think I owe him from last time. Well, there we go. Up we go. Oh, once again, when it hits, it hits, and that's why you play this plane. It's all about the giggles. Pull back in on the Lag 3. Oh, come on. Here we go. Round we go. Finish him off. And I got 2 more planes coming in here. ME-2094. And of course a boomerang. There we go. Slowly but surely, I will kill him. There we go. Pick up the boomerang, and yeah, nice little game. So I got one more for you guys to check out, and you guys can watch and see this little monster can do. Alright guys, the last game in the 2D here. Once again playing with Cad. He is in the SC-100, and I'm going to be playing this kind of once again, it's a multi-roll. I don't really use it for ground pounding, but like I said, you do what you got to do with it. It is effective against lightly armored targets. So if you got to shoot shit on the ground, you can shoot shit on the ground. However, this game we kind of end up getting split up a little bit, and they get the command center up here. So I'm unfortunately have to turn it into a bomber hunter. Go figure that. But with the 2 big 40s, it really doesn't care. Pick up the boomerang coming through here. First couple shells into him. There we go. Nail him. Round we go. And I got the boomerangs all over my tail. Pull around. Oh, can't quite get on him. There we go. Now he's in front. Boom. Yeah. Finish him off. 1 more to go. We'll have this objective here. So pick up the next boomerang coming through. And, oh, didn't quite get all of him. Leave him on 21 health. It's alright. We're going to come around and finish him off here quick. And there we go. Now we got the airfields, and we got the BF-110E coming in here. And he's kind enough to give me kind of a little bit of a head-on here. This is not an aircraft. It's kind of a hit and miss with the head-on with this thing. When you do hit all 40s, or you hit the 2 40s, actually hit something, yeah, you're going to wreck them. But 9 times out of 10, you're not going to get all of him. Then it's not so hot. Pick up the KI-64, or not the KI-46, and we're just going to slowly work through his HP. So now I got the Focke-Wulf 190A1 coming in here. He doesn't seem to be interested. But yeah, get a couple nice hits on him with the 40 and almost finish him off. I got one Hurricane 1 above me, and he's been kind of a cheeky fuck. We'll see here. Yeah, there we go. And you can notice, like I said, the dispersion on the 40 millimeters are a real pain in the ass. So pick up the A6M coming through, get a couple shells into him real quick, and yeah, little bits flying all over the way. But really don't want to get into these kind of fights here. But like I said, I got fucking Warplanes with me, so do what you got to do. Up we go. I'm going to head over here to where CAD's at, and we'll see what happens. Apparently there was a little bit of a bump and grind over here, and they run into each other. So I was looking at the GAs and thinking, maybe I'll go drop on them, but no, we're just going to go up here and make sure these bombers stay away. CAD's going actually after the bomber on the over top of our objective, and I'm going to meet this bomber flight here head on. Doesn't have a whole lot of health, so probably not a good chance he's going to be able to take on a bomber formation with that much health. So he takes off after the bomber, flying over the objective, and I'm going to deal with the incoming bomber flight. There was actually a fair amount. I think there was 4, maybe 5 humans on each side, so it was a good match. Pick up the bombers. You know, like I said, the altitude performance is not the best, but it's good enough, especially for bomber formations or even bot bombers. You don't really have to have that much altitude. 2,000 meters, about all you're going to really get out of this plane worth a damn. 2,500 probably max. Pull in here the BF-110B. He's kind of seems to be busy. Finish off the snap bomber. Yeah, let the 40s cool down a little bit, and we're just gonna throw some shells out there and see if I can get the kill on it. Don't quite get all of it, and pull around. Now about this time I decided, you know what? Enough with the bombers. I have a heavy fighter here, plus 2 fighters, plus 3 fighters. I don't really need to stick around here, so I'm going to be heading over here to the other objective where CAD's at. And it's about that time he does turn it, and I noticed that all my planes, besides the heavy fighter that was with us, he decided to turn away, and yeah, not so good. So up we go, and there's a bomber here. I thought maybe, just maybe, I could pick him off before I have to deal with the bomber flight coming in. Unfortunately, he, wily devil, Hasso, sees me and turns away from me, and I just don't have the speed to keep up with him. So, with that said, turning back here, I could chase him all day long, and it wouldn't did me any good because I wouldn't have caught him until after he turned, which would have put me too far out to deal with this bomber formation here. So I put her into a dive, and I just keep hitting the boost button here slowly but surely, trying to reel these guys in before they get to the objective. We're already up 3-1 right now, but I'd really like to make sure this bomber formation doesn't get through. So there we go, 600 meters roughly, about the time I start picking these guys up here. And once again with the 40 millimeters, yeah, they do such a nice job against these big HP targets. And you can literally just see when the 40 millimeters hit. They just, yeah, big numbers, big huge numbers. Pulling around on this bomber. We'll see if we can knock him out. I really wanted to knock out as many as I could before they got to the objective, so I run the 40 millimeters well into the red. Pull around on this one, let my 40 millimeters cool down, pick him up. I got one more. We picked up the air supremacy, so now it's 4 objectives to none. Pick up the last one. Yeah, Now I turn back to center, and I'm just kind of hanging out here trying to see what's going to happen. Hopefully pick up a couple more kills. But unfortunately, like I said, this is a very quick game. Between me and Cad, we pretty much decimated everything. Yeah, it's so if you're interested in the plane, if you like that kind of stuff, hey, go pick it up. Other than that, it's just kind of a kind of plane. So thanks for watching, guys.